Hi, my name is Margaret Waltera. This is my response to the assignment for Module 3, module about religion in Intro to Philosophy course at SUNY Empire State College, the Center for Distance Learning, Professor Jordan Seidel. The assignment question is whether you identify as religious or not. Write an essay about your thoughts and feelings regarding religion in general, as a social phenomenon, and perhaps Christianity in particular. Why does it seem to be a threat to consider voting for a U.S. president who identifies as atheist? And here is my essay in response. Religion is an influence that starts from before childhood and is around us and felt within us for all our lives. I see two types of religion in the world: organized religion and personal religion. Organized religion gained great control over cultural life and history, and the power to control is the reason I feel uneasy about organized religion. Control and power and numerous followers can turn religious experience into a social hierarchy, with religion claimed as justification for any actions of the followers. Personal religion, on the other hand, I have more respect for, because the religious teachings and the relationship are between the self and their higher power, or God. I'm a bit of an introvert, and I prefer to experience religion on a personal level. I also went to a Jewish summer camp for 8 years, and spent a summer on the same organization's youth trip to Israel. I loved it until I realized all the religious propaganda that was being thrown at us as adolescents, and I decided that it was time for me to follow my own religious path. I see Western civilization's modern-day organized religion in a good light, even though it's not exactly my cup of tea. Here's how I see religion. It's a family-shared culture, a mentor, and a life advisor for all who seek help, and religion exists as a community for many as well. Religion is such a strong movement that in the United States, Thomas Jefferson slipped his wish for law and religion not to appease to each other's businesses. So far, religion has power, respect, and its potential growth gave us one of the Founding Fathers' cause for fear. So even atheists, who technically believe that God doesn't exist, participate in religious activity by acknowledging religious norms in order to disprove them. The point I'm starting with is that religion is all around us and serves many purposes, in addition to having both strength in numbers and influential power, capable of being a major party in the decision-making factors of government. So there is much to consider to come to a fair answer of how I feel about religion. Think about the way children experience religion in comparison to what is felt in adolescence and adulthood. It feels strange to contemplate how, as we grow, religion grows with us. Children inherit their parents' religion, the same way a child inherits the nationality of their family, and the familiarity of familial inheritance makes me believe that the idea of religion is accepted very easily. Furthermore, every child is taught what is right and wrong from their parents. Following this logic, the faith of the parents is good enough reason for a child to believe in God and religion. What makes religion an interesting study is that there are so many religions, and all of them involve different faiths that follow different paths entirely unlike one another. Yet, the fundamental values of all religions always seem to be similar. This is a comforting idea, because it indicates that people of all different backgrounds and lifestyles are intrigued by the mystery of religion with the same goal in mind. If a general formula existed that could fit almost all religions, I think that formula would be B times V over reality equals faith, in which the sum of B, beliefs, multiplied by V, the values, over or divided by reality, will equal the output of the faith that you release to the world. Faith in my own ideals should be directed in a way that is empowering and instills a strong sense of moral code and a desire to better myself so that I can better others. I choose to consider it as my religion. I choose to consider spirituality as my religion because my faith in spirituality is similar in purpose to the faith in deities of other religions. Christians' faith in Jesus Christ results in similar personal strength and righteous values, and the obligation to take action if there's a chance that you can make a positive difference, whether big or small. It seems that so many religions are based upon similar values, but simply operate differently. A similarity throughout the large majority of religious groups is that faith is prominent in the acceptance of an idea that breaks through the barriers of individuals and connects a person to universal values and ideas. Faith is very close to the essence of religious experience that is so hard to define. It glitters with divinity, and like a firefly, you can catch it for a moment, and then let it go, so that you can keep trying to catch it over and over again. In the firefly metaphor, faith would be the insanity of the pursuit in a world with a million distractions. Faith is the state of unwavering acceptance of ideas that makes higher logic than separation of everything on a singular level. It is connecting a higher truth that subjects everything in relation, resulting in understanding unity and harmony. Paul Tillich's assessments of faith explain its presence, its power, and even its potential danger. Faith exists in each person and complements each person's ultimate concern. Therefore, Tillich establishes a weakness in faith because of the relationship that exists between faith and ultimate concern. Tillich warns the danger if faith is directed for an unworthy or mistaken object of ultimate concern. Rudolf Otto had a warped idea of his object of concern, but his faith was directed slightly off. Otto is an example of how powerful faith can control the will, and faith mistaken leads to faith misled. Otto focused his work on searching for the origin of religious experience. The flaw in Otto's claims come from his proposition that the numinous will mysteriously present himself, and in conclusion, its appearance will give a lasting feeling of mysticism. Doesn't that sound like it's missing the essence of the theory? Otto's downfall is that he is so struck at the fascination of a numinous presenting him with a religious experience that he is unable to mentally break his captivation. He is so fascinated at the concept that he becomes unable to immerse himself in holy moments and strive for insight into the purpose or potential of the experience. His description of why the fascination is so compelling to him is a shameful example of energy turned into faith and used for no purpose but the self-serving fascination. Rather than seeking knowledge from the numinous, his inferiority becomes obvious in his deference. He does not seek wisdom or knowledge. He is incapable of ever possessing such power, and so he chooses to devote all admiration to this fascination. His admiration has him speechless, and it isn't until later that he wonders what he was meant to take from this experience. It should come as no surprise. He elaborately fashions his fascination into a feeling of mysticism that manifests a 5-layer ball of emotion that he calls mysterium tremendum. He describes 5 feelings, none of which serve a purpose that will better the now or the present. In fact, he only focuses on the future and how the feelings each manifest into a mental complex, resulting in faith for reasons that are self-serving. Simultaneously, Otto's faith is self-destructive because he fails to postulate how to utilize his religious experience to better himself. Otto claimed that the introduction of the religious idea comes first, and the feelings of mysticism follow, and later faith develops. Though I disagree with the kind of fascination Otto claims as the driving force that keeps his faith, despite the mental constraints he fell prey to, I do agree that some sort of religious idea had to come into the human mind before the faith and following developed. The concept of introduction to religion and the spreading of faith now operates quite smoothly, with family and society sharing secondhand experiences of the original religious experience. The first experience that resulted in the concept of the world from a large-scale view. This religious experience poses the question of its origin. Something cannot come from nothing, which leads to the conclusion that the religious experience came from something. The mystery and appeal of religion is that the origin, the first something, existed outside the rules of the world as we know it, introducing the ability to transcend the limits of human boundaries. This gives much significance to religious experience and opens a world of questions for all philosophers searching for the ontological truth. What was the first vessel to introduce the religious ideas to humans? How long ago did this introduction occur? If we assume the possibility that religious experiences could be taught by humans, is the first still in existence? If people are successfully operating the transfer of religious experience, like a self-operating machine, then what is the function of this religious machine? On a simpler note, I'll answer the question, does God exist? Yes, God exists. The manifestation of God has influenced so many lives that God's existence is existing and alive without God needing to be proven. The literal existence of God is scattered and recorded in history. God exists as an object of debate, as a major focus of theological study. And God exists as a symbol to be feared by those deciding to act in ways that are not righteous, or in religious terms, not in the image of God. Whether God exists as the creator of the world and the inventor of the weekend, I cannot say or give any knowledge that would assist in proving the existence of God as our creator. But nevertheless, there are many positive associations of God and good deeds done in the image of God. The difficulty lies in the characteristic of the noumena that is not subject to the same criteria that could easily prove the existence of a human. We are attempting to find basis that proves the existence of God as a being whose characteristics and abilities cannot be possibly known for sure. But God certainly exists in many minds, which brings up other existences that reside in the personal mental plane inside of an individual. The phenomena of dreams certainly exist, as do ambitions and memories, for example. It should not be assumed that God's existence must be proven in the external world, unless someone brings forth proof that this must be the case. So that is my response to my feelings regarding religion in general and as a social phenomenon. I didn't address why it would be a threat to consider voting for a U.S. president who identifies as atheist, and mostly because I believe government and politics are very complex, and religion, that would just blow my mind. Well, it would take a lot more thinking, a lot more pages of writing. Please, Professor Seidel, I hope you accept this as my late assignment. I accidentally submitted it as a draft and was not able to submit it for grading, so this is a very late assignment. But I hope that my reading it and recording it will serve. Thank you very much. My name is Margaret Walatiera, and today is January 21st, 2015.